Alright y'all, this is all 17 anime studios explained.
Anime studios explained in chronological order, starting off with the oldest anime studio that is still running today, Toei Animation. That was founded in 1948. They're best known for One Piece, Dragon Ball, Slam Dunk, and a bunch of other iconic animes. It's safe to say that they are a massive studio.
Yo, is Dragon Ball up there in the best anime? Is Dragon Ball up there? I remember watching it when I was younger, bro. Yo, I remember watching one scene. Like, I don't remember it, but like, it used to be on my TV, bro. It was motivational, bro. It's a spiritual father of anime. That's what I'm guessing.
Bring a lot of anime to the West and sometimes even considered the Disney of the East. However, the downside to their massive size and just being around for so long is that they take on a loads of different anime projects, and then that often
One Piece
hurts
is like the next Dragon Ball
quality, meaning that it's often a mixed bag. I mean, you just have to look at One Piece. Sometimes it's peak.
What the hell is this, bro? What the hell? Is this a spoiler, dog?
Their reputation cannot
what did we just see there?
And also what is cool is
what
that
anime was that, bro? Was that Dragon Ball? Like new TV show?
A lot of anime studios, they're actually union.
I think that was One Piece, bro.
And then that often hurts.
Anyways,
most, the working experience is actually pretty good.
Yo, that's the anime that's trash? I don't even want to...
Good. Next is Madhouse, one of the most respected anime studios for producing so many iconic anime.
Bro? I don't know any of these
they've made Death Note, the first season of One Punch Man,
we watched the first episode of that, yo.
Hunter x Hunter, Hajime no Ippo, and most recently, Free Run. One of the main reasons for their growth was because one of their
Any of these? Which one's the best out of these? Yo, we watched Death Note. Oh my god, I want to watch it, bro. Should we finish it, yo? Undertale was happening during the time. Yo, Death Note, literally, like, I've never been more tempted to watch or, like, binge a whole show.
And most recently, Free Run. One of the main reasons for their growth was because one of their co-founders and later president, Masu Maruyama, had a great eye for talent, which meant that Madhouse was able to work with some elite anime directors, such as Satoshi Kon, Marumu Usoda, and Masasaki Yusa. However, in 2010, Maruyama, now in his 70s, left to make Mappa because it seemed that he wanted more creative freedom, and he took a bunch of key staff with him as well.
Yeah, Mappa's like the biggest one,
Madhouse, but they still dropped Free Run, and I mean, that anime is complete peak. It looks so sick, so I'm guessing that they're doing fine, to be fair. However, in terms of workplace conditions, Madhouse has been known to overwork their animators, unfortunately, like a lot of anime studios that we're going to find out in this video as well. Moving on, we have Sunrise. Now, like Madhouse, they were also founded in 1972, and they have also completely changed the game of anime. Before Sunrise, anime was often produced by the main creator of the manga, or one studio who would invest everything
y'all were saying, look, made a piece. Y'all make up one, what is it, one slop y'all call it? I don't know what to believe. I think we just gotta watch at least first episodes of some of these and then go from there, bro. One sloppy. Look at Jacob and talk about one sloppy. Look at one slop. I'm done. Halo, it's good. Stop hating, y'all didn't watch. That's what I'm saying. Have y'all even seen it? Like, no way y'all are... Bro, y'all know Andre, bro? I don't even think he's like 100 episodes in and he still messes with it. He got all that merch. Bro's not even 100 episodes in. He thinks it's that good, so if it's that good early on, I don't know, y'all.
But
I heard it's good since
pushed
episode
a producer-led model where multiple companies would invest, spreading the financial risk to produce a certain anime.
So which one is
their first big success was Mobile Suit Gundam in 1979, where they went on to drop other classics such as Cowboy Bebop, Gintama, and Code Geass. They're also known for great animation, and they have the coldest nickname, which is Sunrise Smooth, which that's just the best nickname. Similar to Toei, they're another massive anime studio, and therefore their quality can be varied.
Any of these anime we
should check out, different teams working on so many different projects. But when they do put the time and money and their best teams to it, they really can cook some amazing visuals. Also, their workplace culture does seem to be pretty good compared to a lot of other anime studios. Studio Pierrot was also founded in 1972, meaning that three massive anime studios were all formed in this year. Their first big success...
I watched, again, when I think of shows that used to appear on a specific, like, when I was younger, I used to watch, like, I don't know if y'all know about, what y'all know about 2PM being, like, kids shows. Naruto and Dragon Ball used to come up. Even a little bit of One Piece, I think I remember.
Was in 2002 when they dropped one of my personal favorite animes of all time, Naruto. But then they followed this up with Bleach and Black Clover. And as a result, their reputation, especially to create amazing shonens, is up there with the GOATs. Studio Pierrot, like a lot of older anime studios, is so massive. So again, like I said before, the same thing applies here, where the animation quality can vary a lot.
What the hell is that,
you know, if you've watched Naruto or Bleach, some of the episodes are peak. And also special shout out.
This is Naruto? Yo. Yeah, isn't Naruto bigger than One Piece?
also made Boruto, which I'm not a big fan of, but the Sasuke and Naruto vs Momoshiki fight has to be up there, one of the greatest anime fights I've ever seen. And also what's kind of cool is that in terms of working conditions, their managing director Kiyomo Utsumi recently came out and said that they have increased their overtime pay by 20%, and they recognize that animators are not just...
I've been asking y'all recommendations, I didn't see much of Naruto's. Like, I only saw Naruto's really in my Patreon, y'all.
And that they need rest, which seems like obviously common knowledge, but in the anime industry, this is actually very rare for one of the managing directors to actually come out and acknowledge this, and hopefully they'll lead by example and influence other anime studios to do the same. Next is Studio Gainax, which was formed in 1984 and only a couple years later had their breakout anime Gunbuster, a mecha anime. But they then went on to blow that completely out of the park, releasing Neon Genesis and Evangelica, one of the biggest animes of all time, that literally revolutionized just how popular merchandise could be, and honestly just became a massive part of pop culture in Japan. And from there they went on to make other popular anime such as Fooly Cooly and Gurren Lagann. They're also infamous for what is known as a Gainax ending, which is when a show ends weirdly or abruptly. You'll notice if you've watched some of the animes that I mentioned. However, in 2019 their former president, Tohiro Maki, was arrested for sexual assault of a teenager. There were also reported corruption of funds, and in May 2024 Gainax filed for bankruptcy, ending this once great studio. Now, arguably the anime studio with the most distinctive style and widely best known is Studio Ghibli. This is because only 2 animes have ever won an Oscar, and
yo, I know like 3 Studio Ghibli songs on piano. We gotta watch the movies, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all gonna clown me. I don't know if have y'all seen these movies? This movie right here, I watched this movie on call with someone when I was in 9th grade. I fell asleep. I'm sorry. I know it's peak. I don't know what happened. I think I was tired. I missed the whole movie. I watched it like in 9th grade, bro. One of my friends was like, yo, you gotta watch it. I even knew the song. Yo, I know the whole song on piano. Whole song, bro. 3 versions of it on piano. I know Howl's Moving Castle on piano. I know another one, some princess song on piano. I know all of them, bro. Whoever, Joe Hisashi, I know about the music side. I don't know about the anime side. Should we watch this, yo? Oh, no, let me know in chat, yes or no right now.
And The Boy and the Heron,
this is a good video.
Both of which are made by Ghibli. That is some aura. In 1985, Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata both left Toei Animation and joined up with Toshio Suzuki to make Ghibli. Now, what's interesting about Ghibli is that they're different from most anime studios, and that they predominantly make movies instead of animated TV shows.
I haven't seen any of these.
Because they want to have amazing visuals. Look at how beautiful this looks. Any of their work, but that would be impossible to do that with something like a weekly anime series. If you've also ever watched a Ghibli movie, you'll know that their visuals are extremely distinctive to them, and that is because they use even more hand-drawn animations compared to most studios, with even more incredibly detailed backgrounds and just assets. It just gives this super unique look that I'm personally a massive fan of. Kyoto Animation, or how it's commonly known as Kyo Ani, was founded in 1985 by Mari.
We gotta check that out. That looks actually beautiful. So they left Toei, which I just caught right there, y'all. So were they like Dragon Ball animators before? Maybe we gotta watch some. I think the One Piece is also part of Toei Animation. That's what he called
Yoko and Hideaki Hata. Kyo Ani first built its reputation by doing high quality support work for other studios, and then gradually moved into producing their own major anime, with its biggest hits being Violet Evergarden and Free. What's super cool about them is that they built a reputation for being the golden standard of world culture while still having great high-level animation. This is largely because Kyo Ani hosts the Kyoto Animation Awards, which ranks them on 3 categories: novels, manga, and scenarios. And then the winners, or the best ones, they then get made into anime, with Kyo Ani licensing them, meaning that they get a much larger portion of the profits compared to other animation studios. And then with this money, they're able to have full-time salaried employees compared to most animators by other anime studios just getting paid as freelancers. However, tragically, in 2019, Kyo Ani's #1 studio was attacked by an arsonist. The attack killed 36 people and injured more than 30 others. And in January 2024, the arsonist was sentenced to the death sentence for the attack. And it came out that his motive was believed to be revenge because he claimed that Kyo Ani had stolen some of his work, which was never proven to be true. However, fortunately, the studio has begun to bounce back.
Rest in peace in the chat. Rest in peace. That's messed up.
Releasing anime such as Sparks of Tomorrow and City Animation since then. Next, we have Production IG, which was founded in 1987 by Mitsushi Isukawa and Takayuki Goto. And that is where the IG in the name comes from. I for Isukawa and G for Goto. Their biggest turning point was when they released Ghost in the Shell, which came out in 1985.
I've heard. I've seen this movie. It's like a live action movie, right?
Directed by Mary.
I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard about it. Yeah, should we watch it? It
became one of the most influential anime films ever
it's an
made,
anime,
and helped define the cyberpunk anime genre and influenced Western sci-fi so much that it was actually attributed to influencing The Matrix.
What?
Since then, they've gone on to make both Haikyuu and Kuroko no Basket, two of the most goated sports animes of all time,
I think we watched
with Haikyuu single-handedly raising Japanese volleyball to new heights. They all so much.
Cyberpunk? Y'all been asking for that anime. I know the game. I literally have the game. I never played. I literally just drove around in the city. That's what I did in the game, bro. I never played the story. Cyberpunk 2077, I think. But the anime is Cyberpunk 2077. What is it called, y'all? I don't know. Y'all are spamming that.
And helped them find the
Y'all were spamming that one.
To influencing The Matrix.
This is crazy.
They also own Wit Studio as a subsidiary. These are the guys who made AOT and Season 1 of Vinland Saga, who I'll get onto soon. But before that, I need to talk about JC Staff. These guys kind of have a reputation, if I'm being honest, of being a budget anime studio. The most infamous of this is because they did the most recent series of One Punch Man and the last
heard about
season.
this.
And I'm sure if you've been online, you're aware that they're getting flamed for having predominantly PNG animation. To be fair, it didn't help that Season 1 was done by Madhouse, who I mentioned, who are known for having amazing animation.
We saw the first episode,
so the
it was
contrast
crazy.
made it just even worse. And you know, like I said, Madhouse have been out for so long, they have a much bigger budget and they can attract elite animators.
Madhouse, we just learned about.
I preface this by saying I'm not going to shit on JC Staff. I'm sure that they're all super good at what they do. It's more so that JC Staff just as a philosophy, the higher ups believe that it's better to produce a shit ton of anime, and therefore as a result, obviously the quality is not going to be amazing most of the time. They kind of have the much more quantity over quality approach to making anime. However, in stark contrast to this is Studio Bones, which was formed in 1998 by former Sunrise staff members and quickly became known for specializing in amazing fight scenes. And that's a reputation that has stayed with them to the present day. His first big hit was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is one of my favorite animes of all time. And then from there, they went on to do My Hero Academia.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
Which again, if you watch them shows, you know that some of the scenes in those shows is just incredible. But arguably an anime studio with even more iconic animation quality for fight scenes is Ufotable. They were formed just in the year 2000 by Hikoraku Kondo, and they first gained traction working with the game company Type Moon, where they adapted their games into animes
where I think it is,
such as
the
Fate series and Garden of Sinners. However, their big break was in 2019 with Demon Slayer, which became an instant hit, especially for its crazy level of animation.
Wow.
They then released Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie.
I swear I don't remember if I watched the first season or not. I swear I saw a little bit of it. I don't know.
Which became one of the most successful anime films ever and grossed over 500.
Yo, what is better, to be honest? I don't like comparing, but is Demon Slayer on the same level as JJK? It looks like it is, bro. Oh my god.
The highest grossing film of 2020
we saw trailers
globally.
of this
that is insane. And I mean, on the topic of Ufotable, I have to give a special mention to the Demon Slayer explosion from the last season. I have never seen an explosion done so well in anime.
Yes. What the hell?
The reason how they're able to do this is because the studio has a strong emphasis on digital composition, unlike other studios, and that gives Demon Slayer a unique, polished, glossy, and just expensive feel, almost like it's a live action blockbuster shot with anime characters. A1 Pictures was founded on May 2005 by Mikuro Iwata, a former Sunrise producer. It was also created by
JJK is way more better. Bro, they look on the same level, bro, from the little clips we just saw there.
Which is part of Sony Music Entertainment Japan, meaning that A1 had a powerful corporate backing from the start. They quickly became known for being very versatile, but also having varying anime quality. Some of their best stuff includes Sword Artwork Online and of course Solo Leveling, but they're kind of like JC Staff to my understanding, in that they put out a shit ton of anime, and this means that not a lot of them get the love that these mangas deserve.
11
Unfortunately as well, they also have one of the worst reputations in terms of workplace conditions. Tragically, a 28-year-old who worked there for 3 years and then left, only a year later died for suicide. And then in 2014, Japanese labor authorities recognized the death as work-related, saying that excessive workload contributed to his depression, and reported that he'd worked over
It's already 4 a.m., but I still can't get out of work?
600 hours in 1 month, and that overtime was not properly managed. Now, 8-Bit was founded in 2008, and they're best known for Blue Lock, and I got reincarnated as a slime. If you've seen Blue Lock, you know that when they put the budget in, they can cook. I mean, that last episode was insane.
Oh, it's like a soccer anime. World Cup related, yo? Ooh. What's wrong with soccer, bro? Is this upcoming Messi, bro?
When they don't, it's bad. I mean, if you watched most of the season 2 of Blue Lock, though, apart from that last episode, you'll know that it was on par with PNG animations from the recent season of One Punch Man. So yeah, I'm praying that they give time and money towards the next season of Blue Lock, but this is a reason why they ought to have a very mixed reputation as an animation studio, with them being able to produce peak and stinkers. Moving on, we have Mappa, one of the most well-known animation studios today. What's surprising is that they actually formed very recently in 2011 by one of the co-founders of Madhouse, as I mentioned, Masao Maruyama, and this meant that they were extremely well connected from the start, and they have grown rapidly since then, working on anime such as Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan the final season, Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise, and Vinland Saga season.
Y'all, we just watched the Vinland Saga opening. Yo, peak.
Attack on Titan the final season, Chainsaw.
Attack on Titan the final season? Yo, they locked in. I don't know who animated Attack on Titan before. I think they said. So Attack on Titan final season locked in, they called it Map. Is there JJK level animation in it? Yo, Attack on Titan might be the best, yo.
Man, Hell's Paradise and Vinland Saga Season 2. I mean, that is a crazy catalog, especially considering, again, they started in 2011. However, in 2016, Maruyama left and was replaced by Manabu Usoka, and this is where they started to become more of a controversial studio. Despite their amazing quality, the work conditions are just straight up awful. In particular, during Season 2 of JJK, there were multiple animators describing the brutal work conditions and the terrible treatment.
That's how you know
on the season. It's a big shame because I love the shows Mappa makes, but I think we can all agree that we hope the animes get paid more and they just get treated way better. Another studio formed in 2011 was Studio Trigger, which was made by former Gainax staff,
but the work conditions are terrible.
Fortunately, Studio Trigger feels like a natural successor to Gainax. It became famous through explosive, over-the-top anime like Killer Killer, Little Witch Academia, and Cyberpunk Edge Runners, earning reputation. Is
that the one y'all? Should we watch that one?
Chaotic but also recognizable studios. Next we have Wit Studio, and this was formed only in 2012, pretty much with the sole purpose of making AOT. As I mentioned before, they are a subsidiary of Production IG. With their first anime being AOT, they were immediately put into the spotlight, but they were also able to branch out into other super successful anime such as Vinland Saga Season 1 and Spy Family. And they are even doing the One Piece reboot, shortening the amount of episodes and significantly improving the visuals, especially from the earlier arcs. But they have put out a crazy amount of shows to a very high quality in such a short amount.
Wit might be the best. Wit Studio?
As anime goes, it's no surprise that they ought to have a very bad reputation for workplace conditions and massively overworking their animators. The newest anime studio, which was formed in 2013 when Science Saru by director Masasaki Yusa and producer Ang Young Choi. Some of their first work was actually an episode on Adventure Time, which makes sense considering that unlike most anime studios, they actually do not really care about the nationality of the animators and only really their skill level, and as a result they hire many from different countries. Devilman Crybaby was a massive turning point for them. It was released globally through Netflix and made Science Saru known outside to a much bigger circle of people. If you've seen this show, you know that it is super experimental, which is kind of what they've become known for, with crazy colors and crazy scenes, and that's also reflected in one of their newer animes, Dan, which I'm super excited for Season 3. If you haven't watched it, I'd recommend it. Now, I know this video is titled All 17 Anime Studios Explained, but I just wanted to cover the main ones and the ones that I like. But moving on, if you want to check out every single IRL reference in Jujutsu
my mind is expanded.
Here, and thank you very much for watching.
All I gotta say, the ones that stood out to me: Attack on Titan, Naruto, One Piece, the soccer one, bro, Demon Slayer, stood out to me, bro. Like, I'm like, wait, like, there's so much, bro. I don't even know where to start, yo. Good half an hour, maybe another hour. This is a little bit of everything. My mind is expanded, bro. The Don Don, bro. The guy in the video recommended it. We gotta watch that. Yo, shout out Kovac right here, bro. Appreciate you, bro. You just expanded our minds, bro. Our minds. Me and you minds, bro.